BTS News. 1 hour that changed everything. Jikook's secret meeting at the headquarters that drained emotions. On a seemingly ordinary afternoon at the South Korean military headquarters, an extraordinary event occurred. A moment that lasts only an hour, but is enough to shake emotions, evoke memories, and reinforce bonds that never fade. The secret meeting between Park Jimin and Jungkook, two BTS members who are serving in the military, created a wave of outrage that is difficult to describe in words. No one expected that the day would become a historic moment for both. Each of them is stationed in a different location and has a strict training schedule. But a very rare time gap suddenly opened up. Through coordination known only to a handful of people within their unit, Jimin and Jungkook are scheduled to be at the main headquarters site at about the same time for logistics and routine inspection, according to one of the internal sources, who did not want to be named. Their presence at the headquarters at the same time was not just a coincidence. There is a strong element of desire on both sides. They haven't seen each other in person for a long time, only occasionally texting each other, if allowed. The longing that had been held back for so long finally found a way to overflow. In a dimly lit personnel break room, with an open window showing a blushing afternoon sky, Jimin and Jungkook sat next to each other. No crowds, no camera, no media spotlight, just the two of them. With military clothes and tired faces, the two looked at each other with a low-key smile that kept many stories. Jimin, who looked a little calmer than usual, was the first to open the conversation. His first sentence reportedly left Jungkook speechless and staring at him for a long time. "We don't know when it will be like this again, right?" he said softly, almost like a whisper. Jungkook nodded, and there was a flash of water in his eyes that he tried to hide. During that hour, they didn't just talk about training or assignments. They talked about dreams, about music, about the stage they longed for, and about the feeling of each facing a military world away from the spotlight. Another source said that Jungkook had grasped Jimin's hand and said, "Every time I'm tired, I remember you. You used to make me strong. Still is." The remark reportedly made Jimin look down for a long time, then wiped away the tears silently. No dramatic hugs, only silence, warmth, and emotional connection are felt so deeply. Even in silence, they spoke. For ARMY, Jikook is not just a duo of group mates. Their relationship has long been considered one of the most emotional and strong. This encounter showed the human side of them: longing, fear, and hope. In the midst of the demands of being soldiers, they still carry the artist's warm and sincere soul. That 1 hour becomes a space of time that feels eternal. In such a short time, they recharge each other's spirits. Jimin reportedly gave Jungkook a small piece of paper containing a personal message before they parted ways. No one knew the exact contents, but Jungkook kept them tightly in his breast pocket and stared at them for a long time before returning to his unit. After the meeting, some military colleagues revealed that Jungkook seemed more calm and focused in training. He smiles more often while remaining quiet. Meanwhile, Jimin was reported to be more excited while undergoing the task. Did that 1 hour really heal their longing wounds? Maybe not completely, but enough to rekindle the flame of hope. They were probably just two men dressed in military clothes like the hundreds of others at the base. But there was something in their eyes that made time seem to stop. Even the most senior soldier who passed near the dugout at that time, without knowing who they really are, had time to look twice. There was a calm and tension all at once that hung in the air, like two great rivers that met at one point and then were silent in a silent vortex. Jimin took a deep breath. The smell of old wood and air conditioning mixed with the smell of damp field clothes. He turned to the window, saw the sky begin to change color, then looked back at Jungkook, who was sitting with his palms together on his lap. "I still dream a lot about the Japan tour," Jimin said suddenly, as if he were reading his own mind. "You remember when we played backstage, throwing pillows at it?" Jungkook smiled, a smile full of longing. "I remember. You were angry because I almost hit an expensive camera. But you even asked to be photographed afterwards," Jimin added, and then they both laughed a little, slowly, Suffocated by feelings that could not be resolved, the clock on the wall ticks, reminding that 1 hour it will not be eternal. But for them, time no longer moves as usual. It felt like every second in the room was stifled. They don't want to talk too much for fear that tears will overpower. They also don't want to be silent for too long for fear that the only moment will pass without meaning. Jimin grabbed a water bottle at a small table nearby, then handed it to Jungkook. "Do you sing often?" asked slowly. "Sometimes." Quietly. "In the room, night watch time, or time to walk alone?" Jungkook replied, looking straight at the floor as if there was an invisible stage. "But you can never sing without your mind. You're always the first part of the pitch I put out." Jimin just nodded. His chest was congested by something inexplicable. Not sadness, not just longing, but it's more like a feeling that has been too long stored, too deeply planted, until now it explodes quietly behind a smile. Before their breakup, Jimin slipped something into Jungkook's breast pocket. A small piece of paper neatly folded, with his own writing that he scraped quickly this morning. "Read it later." "Not here," he said, almost like an order. "That's just it. Something to help you when the day gets tough." Jungkook nodded, grasping the paper without opening it. He knew that the contents of the paper were not just ordinary words. Jimin is not a person who often writes messages. If he writes, then there must be something important, maybe something that is too difficult to say right away. The little paper, in the end, became a substitute for the hugs they could not give in the midst of a tight military environment. A symbol of feelings that must be kept secret, but cannot be ignored. One of the officers entered the room. "You have 5 minutes," he said quickly, then closed the door again. Silence. The last 5 minutes have been the hardest. They don't know how to say goodbye without feeling like saying goodbye. Jungkook looked at Jimin's face for a long time, as if trying to memorize it for later, for the dreams to come, for the cold nights where only memories warm. "If I go back first, will you promise to keep singing?" asked Jimin. Jungkook did not immediately respond. He got up from his seat, then stood straight in front of Jimin, like a soldier saluting. But not because of military protocol, but rather out of deep respect, which comes from the heart. "If I could, I would sing again." Then Jimin got up and briefly touched Jungkook's arm, a quick but meaningful touch. Perhaps others will take it for granted, but for them, it's more than just movement. It's a way of saying, "I'm here. I'm always here." After the meeting, the two returned to their respective units. But as the saying goes, they are never really the same again. Something in them changed. Stronger, lighter, more hopeful. A few weeks later, Jungkook was found sitting on the edge of the barracks, staring at the night sky. He hummed a song he hadn't sung again since entering the military. The song is one of BTS's old songs whose lyrics were written by Jimin, and as he sings it, his low voice flies with the night breeze, carrying a message that only one person can understand. The one who once stared at him silently in that small space with the window open. That night, when all the soldiers were already asleep, Jungkook sat alone behind the tent of the barracks, illuminated only by a faint moonlight. The wind blew slowly, making the ends of her hair move slowly. He was holding a small paper fold that Jimin had slipped into his pocket this afternoon. Still unopened, it was like a treasure that he kept for the right time, and that night it felt like the quietest and most honest time. With slightly trembling fingers, Jungkook opened the paper slowly. Jimin's handwriting ink is slightly tilted to the left, typical of him when writing fast but soulful. There are slight traces of water, either because of ink or because of sweaty fingers when writing it. But do not interfere with its content. It just makes it more alive. "You're always the first person I look for when I'm scared. Now I'm scared, but I know I'm not alone because I know you feel the same way. Don't be strong for others. Just be honest with yourself. If the day feels heavy, remember, I am also in the same world, breathing in the same sky. Until we can laugh without this uniform again, wait for me."